Before I was putting jumpers on in the middle of summer. Now it's no shirt on in the house. This is absolutely the most unbelievable thing I could have ever done. Yes, paid for it. I probably got 10 times the value.
Here we are at MPT HQ, my personal gym, with special guest and Rebuild success client, Corey Tucker. Welcome.
Thanks, mate.
So we're here to blast an arm session today and go through how you did it, man. You've lost how many now in total?
16 kilos.
16 kilos?
Yeah.
And you scanned in today, well, we're about to go get it, but
Yeah,
I'm very confident you're gonna be about 8-9%.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So feel free to give them an ab shot if you want. If not, don't, that's cool.
Maybe later.
Later, awesome. Yeah. We're gonna go bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, bit of forearms at the end, and just have a chat in between sets about how you did this whilst being a full-time Sparky.
Yep.
With
Three
kids?
Yep.
Aged?
15, 12, 8.
Wow. 8, 12, and 15. All girls too, I think, is that?
Boy in the middle.
Boy in the middle.
2 girls.
Okay, so typical dad bod here, as you can see. We'll have a chat about how you did it.
Yeah,
Cool.
sweet.
Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first exercise of today's arm session, we're gonna do standing barbell curls. We're gonna warm up light and work our way up to our 2 heavy sets. So Corey is going to curl a PB today, 40 kilos at a body weight of 80. So he's literally curling, standing curling, half his body weight. Alrighty, just got done with our 2 working sets on standing barbell curl. Now we're gonna move over to tricep push downs. As per the MPT Supernatural training system, we will do our warm-up weight again to acclimate and prime our triceps to be able to handle the heaviest weight possible for a 6 to 8 rep range for our working sets. The reason full flexion or taking a muscle through its full range of motion is important, the best analogy I can give for that is if you've got a lacquer band and you pull it halfway, releases a bit of torque, bit of tension, bit of power. If you stretch it as far as you can go, it's gonna create more torque, more tension, more whatever you wanna call it, more power, more speed. It's the same with a muscle group. If you can get a tricep fully stretched, you'll have a lot more activation of more muscle fibers to be able to contract it. That's why this stuff doesn't work, or this stuff doesn't work. I want it to be a squeeze. If someone's doing that, you gotta impress me with how much I can feel your tricep on my thumbs. Squeeze. Give me 2 more. Beautiful. All right, so while we're resting in between sets, mate, what was your first 12-week rebuild result?
So first 12 weeks, dropped 13.5 kgs over that first 12.
That's impressive. For someone that didn't really have a ton to lose, like you've lost 16 kilos in total now and you're sitting well and truly below 10%, or around 10% anyway, circa 10%. Were you surprised to come off that quick?
Yeah, I was actually very surprised. I didn't think that would come off as fast as it did.
Yeah.
You've got your 10 kilo money back guarantee.
Sure do.
My mindset was, I'm getting my money back. So that's how confident I was, mate.
Well, look, I appreciate the honesty. Not too many people are fucking honest about that. So was it easier or harder than you expected?
Probably easier than I expected,
Yeah.
mate. I found it very enjoyable. Bit of surprise to me. I thought it was gonna be a grueling 12 weeks, but actually loved it, every second of it. I think I probably got to about the 8th week and I think I said to E-Man that, mate, I'm committed here. I'm going all the way. 36 weeks we end up doing, so.
Amazing. So when you say simple, just describe that to a viewer who's watching this for the first time who knows nothing about the MPT system or the rebuild.
Just everything, like the nutrition was real simple. Your exercises are mapped out in the training app, so they're extremely easy to follow. Narrowing down the technique, how to do things properly. Yeah, I just found it extremely easy to follow. And the nutrition was great as well. The meal plans that you guys do.
Yep.
Epic.
Yep, I think what a lot of people don't understand or they're not expecting is the level of customization that goes into the nutrition to fit your schedule as a full-time tradie with 3 kids, because they're probably the most 2 common excuses I get. I'm too busy to fit this in, like the amount of work I'd have to do, meal prep, training time, step count, all this stuff that people think they have to do to look like you, actually isn't the case.
Exactly right.
And the second excuse, sorry to cut you off, is the kids. Oh, I've got 3 kids. I'm too busy with school pickup, school drop off. I'm making meals. I'm doing sports. We're able to customize that to the individual's lifestyle.
Yep.
Was that surprising to you?
Yeah, it was. I thought, how am I going to fit this into my work and my family and all that? But it just integrated in so well. If the want is great enough, the how won't matter, mate. I was up in the gym at 4 a.m, 4:30 most
Yep.
mornings. So I start work at 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yep.
So get in, get it done. I was honestly trying to work out how the hell I'm going to fit all this workouts into my daily routine, thinking I didn't have enough time. But like I said, if the want is there, the how won't matter. I've managed to get it in. And it's amazing when you have got that want, what you can do and where you can find time. And it's a massive motivator.
You make time.
100%.
And every busy dad who's working full-time, business owner, tradie, school teacher, government employee, whatever it may be, my suggestion is always, let's just rewind your alarm clock by 90 minutes. Let's get up, let's take a few magic supplements, do a bit of appreciation, gratitude in the morning, do you for the first hour and a half of the day, and then live your life as usual. And I found, I don't want to speak out of pocket for you, but typically have more time at the end of the day and more energy at the end of the day to be a present partner and father and, you know, when you're not a business owner anymore. It's all about anchoring your day and making that first 90 minutes about you. So then you can be everything to everyone else that's important in your life.
Absolutely. Definitely found that. Definitely found more energy around the kids, outside playing cricket with the young fella. Full 360 on what I was.
Money, man, that is so good. Now this here is why we rest 2 to 3 minutes between sets. If you are training to failure and you're pushing your muscle through a full range of motion and taking it to the point where you can't do another rep. If I put a timer on for 30 seconds and said go again, how many reps would you get?
Probably 2, 1.
If you're lucky.
None.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you think that the rest time at MPT is a luxury, it just means you're not training hard enough. It's an opportunity to look in the mirror and kind of give yourself a bit of a smack and say, hey, I'm training here like a bitch, like someone that should be doing F45 and not somebody who wants to look like an alpha male. That's why we rest so long, because we're putting all of our energy into our working sets. And it's like a 100-meter sprint, mate. If you went for a 100-meter sprint, all out as fast as you can for 15 seconds or whatever it's gonna take you, you need to rest at least 3 minutes to be able to do that sprint again. That's how we treat every working set at MPT, because it's the most effective stimulus for a natural to build as much muscle mass as he can, whilst in a calorie deficit and losing body fat. Great set, well done.
Cheers, mate.
So just got done with our 2 working sets on tricep pushdown. Did a stack, congratulations, good fucking job. We're gonna move over here to a pin-loaded preacher curl, which is an isolation for the bicep. You'll notice that this workout, we're going bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep. I've found over the years it's the best way to build the biggest arms naturally, because you're going into each different muscle group, even though they're arms, opposing muscle groups, you're going into it fresh after having exhausted the opposite. That's just the madness behind the method. Now, before we do this, I want to ask you a question, man. What were some of the other benefits that you noticed besides losing 13.5 kilos in your first fucking 12 weeks?
Yeah, so more energy. More energy around the house. Probably the biggest one really for me was self-confidence. I think I was lacking a bit in that, you know, looking at myself in the mirror, seeing who I'd become, who I'd maintained for 15 whatever years. Not exactly who I wanted to be, and I've always had this in the back of my mind that one day I'll get fit, I'll do something next year. Just procrastinated for so long, mate, and just got to a point where I had to do something. I've tried by myself for so long, pretty much failed every single time, just the weight just come crashing back on. But yeah, just the self-confidence is probably the biggest thing I've noticed.
So what were some of the things that you did try before, like on your own?
Yeah, so man shake. Lots of man shake.
Everyone loves that one.
I was doing a lot of football training and stuff like that, and they did some boot camps. So I did a few boot camps with them, but they were just brutal. Just shockingly brutal. Yo-yo dieting, like
extreme calorie deficit.
Extreme calorie deficits, mate. Like I reckon at one point there, I was using MyFitnessPal, even though it's not maybe 100% accurate. I reckon I was doing like 1,000 calories a day sometimes, and then going flogging myself with cardio and things like that. Man. And that's just
I cringe hearing stuff.
Just not knowing what the hell I was doing, mate, basically.
Gotcha. So can you remember, was there an exact moment where you realised, or you kind of thought to yourself, I can't keep living this way and I need to get some...
So at the start of the year, 2025, jumped on some scales. I think it was at my old man's place. I don't have scales at home, so I don't weigh myself regularly. I do now. Jumped on the scales and I was 102 at the start of 2025. And I just thought to myself, here we go again. Yo-yo dieting, man shakes, flogging myself with cardio. And so I started doing that and got through to about start of April on Instagram. Your ugly head popped up.
My ugly mug, as we say,
I didn't act on it straight away, because obviously when you see something like that, everyone's got a bit skeptical. It just kept popping up, and I was doing my own thing. And I just got to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna end up back where I started. I need help here. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for like 16, 17 years on my own. Hasn't worked yet. What the hell am I gonna go waste another 9, 10, 12 months for hit you up. We reached out, you'd reached out. And yeah, next thing I was in.
Rest is history.
May. The rest is history, mate.
Yeah. And just for context too, because I always like to be contextual, 101 kilos was your heaviest?
102.
102?
Oh, sorry. Well, if you want to really go my heaviest, back when I was probably 21, suffered a football injury, I hit 110 on
Wow.
the scales.
Okay.
Been through my own, weight loss journey, which was not really anything special.
This one,
mate.
Yep.
Exactly that. Yeah, I got down to 92, was as low as I could get, and that was just could not get past it. Coming into this, I always thought if I could just get into the 80s, that would be great.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
87, 86, something like that, would be fantastic. To get down into 83 and 81 this morning, like never in a million years did I think that I would get here looking like this.
Yeah.
It was just not possible.
It's super impressive, man. And like, again, at 101, 102, whatever you were when you started, at 6 foot tall, it's not that bad. You know, you look at your before photos and you're not obese. You don't look like 150 kilos of chewed bubblegum.
Yeah.
You don't have a spare tire. But obviously you were unhappy enough in yourself. You were smart enough to realize that you were actually carrying close to 30 kilos of fat at that point.
I was.
Whereas now on your current DEXA, you're gonna be holding somewhere between 6 and 10 kilos of fat. Towards 10 is where I try to kind of encourage everybody to go. Towards 10 kilos of fat in total, or 10% body fat if you want to take it to the next level, which you've done. And a lot of blokes just don't realize how fat they fucking are.
I didn't, I was exactly that person. When I got on that body scan for the first time and it said 27 or something kilos, I was blown away with that.
There you go.
If you had to ask me before I jumped on that, how many kilos of fat am I holding? Probably would have said 10.
Yeah, 15. Everyone does. Everyone goes, 10 or 15, because they hide behind shirts.
100%.
Black clothing. And you're quite tall, long limbs, so your fat was spaced quite well. Looking at your before photos, most people would say, oh, that's just a dad bod. But you were obviously unhappy enough with that. And I think at some point it becomes, you've got more in you, and you've got more potential than what you're actually showcasing. And it's kind of time to fulfill that. And I think like yourself, you said you paid off your house, you paid your family, you bought the business, you sold the business, you're now happy with your lifestyle. The only thing that was left for you was, hey, look at this rig. I'm 36 years old.
That's right.
My best years aren't gone. I can do this, but hey, I need some fucking help to do it.
Definitely.
Would you agree with that?
100%, mate, yeah. There's no way I could have done this on my own. Just the nutrition alone, what you guys have shown me, there's no way you can figure that out by yourself.
Well, you're actually eating a lot. Like I looked at your calories when E-Man started your peak week and I was like, fuck, this guy's got like 4 or 5 fruits. You're eating like oats and honey in the morning. You got yogurt, you got a steak, you got a wrap, you got chicken breast, you got a snack. Like you're eating around 2,400 calories to come in this lean, 36 years old. Like it's amazing what the body does when you actually fuel it correctly and you give it the right stimulus. 5 heavy workouts a week, not crushing yourself with boot camp where you're either going to get injured or burn out, and actually finding something that's sustainable that you can maintain with your lifestyle as a full-time working father who doesn't want to just be a gym rat as his part-time fucking hobby.
Yep.
Many reps later.
So mate, while we catch your breath in between sets, I'm going to put you on the spot. Where do you honestly think you'd be if you didn't do the rebuild with us?
Oh mate, like I said before, the yo-yo dieting, I'd be back to 102 kilos, maybe even 110 at this stage, because I would have put myself through absolute hell, super low calories, and all it would have taken was for me to get sick or one of the kids had something wrong and it's just wrecked my momentum in the gym and the workout I'm doing. Would have just gone ham on the food and just blown out again.
Put it all back on.
100%, which is what happened for the last
decade. It's a decade of spinning your wheels in no man's land, right?
Yep.
And the reason for that is, so you guys at home know, every time you do an extreme diet or method, like 1,000 calories, doing crazy cardio at boot camps, footy training, things that you can't commit to, when you go back and overcompensate and overeat, you damage your metabolism every time you do that. And that's why you put the weight back on 2, 3, 4 times faster than what you lost it. And that's the problem. A lot of people aren't attacking the root cause, which is the routines and upgrading the lifestyle to match the bloke that you want to look like. So now that you've been with us for 9 months, I'm very confident that you now identify with the Corey Tucker that looks like this, eats well, lifts 5 days a week, looks after his sleep, basic nutrition, etc. Now you won't go back to being that person. Or if you did, it would take you many, 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 many months to get back to that 102 kilos because we've actually looked after your metabolism this time around. And I think sometimes it takes people failing on their own for a decade or decades. I've got some guys in their 40s and 50s that have done your cycle for 20 years to actually realize, hey, it's not about how extreme I can go in a small window of time. It's about what I can actually maintain long-term that I enjoy, that's going to have me feeling good. So therefore I can keep the results. Does that make sense to you? Now that you've gone through it, because when I say this stuff to people at the start, they go, oh yeah, whatever, mate, just tell me what to eat. And if I'm not losing a kilo a week, I'm fucking out. Hearing that now that you've actually done it, does that make more,
absolutely
makes more sense?
Yeah, yep, for sure.
All right, just got done with the preacher curls. Congratulations, you look amazing. The bicep man peaking. We're gonna move over here now to a lying tricep extension or a skull crusher. We're gonna do it with MPT form, which I'll explain in a moment. Before we move into that set, mate, what's something you can do now that felt impossible before the rebuild?
Probably I would say taking my shirt off in public. So at the pool or at the beach beforehand, you know, I was, like I said before, self-confidence was virtually in the toilet. For me to go to the pool with the kids was like, oh geez, surely not, we're not going to the pool. You know, it'd be like 40 degrees outside, kids want to go to the pool and I'll be like, oh, I don't know, is it quite hot enough? Like, but now I'm the one that's going to the kids saying, oi, let's go to the pool. Because confidence, mate. I feel great in this body. Yeah, probably getting a few looks from some of the soccer mums on the side of the side of the pool as well. Huh? I mean, that's a great example. Do you think now that you're in shape and you have confidence, do you think that's providing a better role model for your kids as well? 100%, mate, definitely. I'm walking around the house with my shirt off a lot more now. You know, like kind of purposely to show my son and my kids that this is what dad's supposed to look like. They saw who I was beforehand, which was this overweight, podgy guy. Now they're seeing this fit, athletic looking guy walking around their house. I'm hoping that instills in their mindset that anything's possible for them.
Well, it's not only that, mate. It's also like the commitment and discipline to sticking to something that you said you were going to do, which I think in today's youth is very scarce. A lot of kids just want things to be given to them and
100%.
Complain when they don't get them. Whereas what you've done here, losing 16 kilos of fat and getting down towards 10, is you've actually done it through your own hard work and your own discipline. And you haven't done it with Ozempic or with TRT. It seems to be the two things that most blokes our age are gravitated towards because it's a quick fix. It's an injectable once a week or however it works. I think Ozempic's into the fat, I think TRT's in the glute. And you know, you're just doing it that way. So you're actually showing them a real example of what discipline and dedicated commitment, consistent hard work actually does. Absolutely. Obviously, you've shown them through health. It's a great analogy for them to use for anything. Business, relationships, for their mental health, for everything. So you've actually done that by example, which to me, I think is the best thing a bloke and a father can actually do.
And even the nutrition side of things, you know, like I was a big snacker, like bad at snacks. I'd just be raiding the pantry, eating their food, eating their school lunch food, little Cadbury bars, things like that. I guess that was more just out of habit and maybe boredom. That's completely gone now. Like I don't do any of that. So my kids see that I'm not doing that anymore because it was quite obvious that I was doing that, walking around the house with little mini Cadburys and things like that. They see that, they think it's acceptable because that's what dad does. Now they're seeing dad get up early, have his protein shake, his greens, he's eating heaps of vegetables, heaps of fruit, red meat, all that sort of stuff. I'm hoping that encourages them to later on, not necessarily right now, but maybe later on down the track.
Choose the healthy option.
100%, not the crap option that is what I was doing, so.
All right, one more. Were you skeptical before joining?
Yeah, I was,
Honesty, I like it.
When I first saw the ad, I was just I don't know, I just sort of thought it was another one of those ads that pops up in your feed, some bullshit bloody fitness influencer that's trying to, you know, flog something off to me. But it just kept popping up in my feed and I'm just, like I said before, doing the yo-yo dieting. I knew where it was gonna end. I couldn't keep going the way I was. I knew it was gonna end badly, just back to where I was. I just thought, fuck it, I'm gonna bite the bullet, and you just kept popping up. The more I watched it, the more the ad I felt like I could relate with. Felt very comfortable, I was very, you know, Australian, I suppose. You were swearing in it, just very natural, I thought, and that spoke to me. So I sort of gravitated towards that.
Did you ever think you'd be here standing next to me, looking how you look today?
Nah, I think in the intro video, you said to me, we'll get you to 10%. This old bad boy up here was like, that ain't happening.
No fucking way, I'm here to get my money back. You said
exactly
earlier.
Right. In the intro videos, you talk about the 8-ball analogy, you know, some guys are so far behind the 8-ball, they can't see in front of it. That was definitely me. Didn't realize what my potential was, but as I got in, doing the exercises, nutrition was right, the weight was starting to drop off. I could start to see, an identity shift. I could see what this program was going to offer me and what the potential had for me to get to. I think it was like week 8. I just said to E-Man, let's go. I'm fully in on this.
I'm in. Let's get to YouTube.
100%.
Yeah. And then today, looking how you look today,
Yeah.
peaked. Explain that.
I just feel amazing.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
It's a drug, effectively, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's hard to beat, man.
Yeah.
I tell a lot of guys, I'm like, just hang in there because it's worth it, man. Like the saying that I use inside the group is the juice has got to be worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
The result has to be worth the effort, the sacrifice, the changing in habits, the hard stuff. Would you say that it has been?
100%.
And you're happy you come here and filmed on
Oh
YouTube?
yeah, absolutely. If you had to ask me at the start before I started this, or you go through this program and you will film with Mike at the end of it, I would not have signed up.
Not me.
No way.
Someone else, but not me.
Yeah, and coming through, again, comes back to that confidence that I spoke about, just instilled confidence in me. I think it got to, I don't know when it was, but E-Man's like, oh, if you get to 10%, then you'll be able to film with Mike. I'm like, yep, I'm keen as to do that now. If you asked me at the start, no way. Not
It's because you stepped out from that 8 ball though, like you
Absolutely.
said. You were behind it, you were blinded by it.
Yep, I was.
27
Very
kilos of fat, 13 of those went in the first 12 weeks.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can see the possibility for me now.
Yep.
I'm already on the way. Let's continue this momentum.
blind. Exactly what it was.
Yeah, love it, man. We look great today, man. I can't wait for you to see the finished product. And what would you say to the bloke watching this who thinks it's too late for him?
Nah, it's definitely not too late. Like, geez, I tried so many different things, pretty much everything under the sun for the last 10, 15 years. Yo-yo dieting, like I spoke about, man shakes, all that sort of stuff. I honestly thought I was done for. Like, I actually had a mate, I caught up with him for New Year's and we were just talking, chewing the fat, and this might not be true, but it doesn't matter. It's what I took out of it that motivated me to do something at the end of last year. The way you look in your 40s is a high percentage that's how you're going to end up for the rest of your life. You've obviously debunked that clearly in your program.
Well, yeah.
But it doesn't matter, what I took out of that was I need to start doing something.
Get your shit together now.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't wait till it's even worse of a problem.
Yep, exactly. And you've trained countless guys that are older than me and look at their results. Like, it's definitely not too late.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
Yeah. And mate, I say this every episode, but you're the oldest you've ever been right now. So am I. So are you. But you're in the best shape of your life. Is that correct?
Oh,
have you ever looked like this before in your life?
Not even. If you had told me I'd look like this, I would have absolutely laughed at you
Yeah.
and told you to F off. Not in a million years did I think I would look like this, ever.
Yeah. And it's insane. So the message is to any bloke that's watching this, whether you're mid-30s, mid-40s or mid-50s. I filmed with the mid-50s recently.
right.
It's not too late for you to get in the best shape of your life if you follow the right system. This is not something I read on a book in a recent qualification. I'm not in shape because I did a recent cycle of steroids. I've been like this since I was 17. I'm 38, 39 this year in 2026. And not only have I proved it with myself, with my coaches, but with the endless guys that I'm inviting up here to come and film with me after they hit 10% from their 30s, 40s, 50s, every state in the country, every profession you can think of. And I always worm in there somewhere in this episode that you are the oldest you've ever been and you're in the best fucking shape of your life. Despite what kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a paradox, isn't it? It's like that extreme opposite. Anyway.
Paradox.
Anyway, I've said what I need to say. Moving on. Become my man, okay. Okay, so just got done with lying tricep extensions. We're gonna now move into some hammer curls. But before we do, man, quick question in between sets. What would your wife, kids, mates, co-workers say about you now versus who you were 16 kilos ago?
Yeah, they're all extremely proud of where I've come from and the way I look at the moment. Actually, last night was sending a few photos around, and yeah, just everyone was like, so proud of you, can't believe it.
Amazing, man.
And I've even inspired a few people as well. Like I was with a mate yesterday doing an intense leg workout, and once he saw me in the posing room and was taking the photos, he's like, my God, he couldn't believe it. So,
yeah.
He really is trying now to push down to 10%. So, I inspired him to make a move.
I mean, it's super fulfilling as a man, leading by example. Like I think it's undersold. There's this whole, I'm trying to get on board with this make men great again and make strong men and men that have resolve, they have discipline, they can be relied on. But until you actually do it and feel it and see how people respond to you when you've done it, very hard to grasp.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
But now that you've done it, like the confidence is like you're glowing.
Oh yeah, the confidence is amazing. And like I said, it's like a drug. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Walk around the house with my shirt off. Before I was putting jumpers on in the middle of summer just to hide the man boobs and the gut. Now it's no shirt on in the house. It's great.
Yeah.
It's just the confidence.
At our age, it's not this fake confidence where you want to be doing selfies on Instagram to get, thirst traps and all this shit. It's more the confidence of, hey, I said I was going to do something and I fucking did it with my own two hands. That's hard to put a price on. Like what you said before, it's like a drug. You know, like it's a better high than any drug you can find.
Absolutely.
Of fulfilling your potential and being a role model as a man in a very fucking weak society that's going down the gurgler, as they say.
100%. Hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Okay, so we're finished with hammer curls. We're going to move on to this reverse preacher machine for triceps, which you've never done before. Amazing machine. Before we do, mate, one last question before we kind of finish. What's one brutal truth that you didn't know until now about getting your body back?
It's not about the short-term fix, it's about the long-term sustainable approach to working out, nutrition, all that sort of stuff.
And just to elaborate on that, you spent the last 10, 15 years yo-yoing.
That's right.
Trying short-term sprints, 1,000 calories, cardio, all this stuff that you can't sustain long-term. Whereas what we did with you, we got you in the gym 5 days a week, training something different. Was it enjoyable?
100%.
Is it addictive?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Super addictive, mate.
Eating for your body as a tradesman, father, 36 years old, 100 kilos, 70 kilos of muscle. We custom fit that nutrition for you. Smoothie first thing, well, shake in the morning to fuel your workout.
Yep, hydrate greens in the morning.
Shake straight after that.
Yep.
Because you don't have time to come home and cook a 6-egg omelette and all this shit you see on fucking line, fitness influencers. We gave you a snack. We gave you a chicken wrap to have while you're on the job site because it's nice and easy. You can flavour it 1,000 different ways. Another snack, a nice hearty, real man's fucking dinner, steak, potatoes and veg. And then you probably built yourself up to 2 or 3 snacks in the evening. And I think you had a ham and fucking bacon wrap or something at one point as well.
Egg and ham wrap in there.
Egg and ham wrap as well.
Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice.
I was eating that much food that I was almost forgetting to eat it because I just was not hungry. Even during the later stages of this where we were cutting calories out to trim me down, still wasn't that hungry. Like the appetite was fine.
Yeah.
That's easily sustainable.
Well, that's it. And that's largely because of what you're eating. Yep. You're eating a banana, an apple, a kiwi. You're eating eggs, steak, chicken, yogurt, berries, juices. Like you're actually fueling your body properly. And I think that's, not to answer your question for you, but that's the brutal truth that most men miss. It's upgrading your lifestyle to match the bloke that you want to look like. You're eating like a bloke that looks how you look. You're training how a bloke who looks how you're training. And that's more what it is. It's not about this overcommitment to starving yourself, doing 15,000 steps when you're already busy enough and you're already doing enough steps on the job site, and eating like a fucking bikini model contest and doing cardio. It's not about that. It's not a challenge. It's not weight loss. It's losing fat, building muscle with a lifestyle upgrade that you enjoy sustaining into the decades. For example, do you think you're gonna still be looking like this in the next 10 years?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Like, just to be able to follow those exercises and the nutrition so easy. It just comes down to being lazy if I can't follow this.
Yeah.
And that old person's gone. So
exactly. And even if you do a little bit, you put on a couple of kilos, but you'll be able to wind it back.
I'll be able to
now,
bring myself back.
You've got the tools. Yep. You know how to do it properly.
Exactly.
And I think that's the brutal truth that a lot of people, especially with online hopping up at the moment and influencers and AI and fucking everything else, is they're getting sucked into short-term fixes. And the short-term fix is called a short-term fix for a fucking reason.
Exactly.
It's not a long-term sustainable lifestyle upgrade. And that's what we teach, that's what we preach. And I'm going against the grain, man. There are much bigger fitness accounts than me that says anybody that you know in their network who's gotten more muscular and lost fat is either injecting TRT or Ozempic. James Smith just went on and put a fucking post about it. One of the most popular influencers in the group, in the world, saying this to his followers and to people that see him as influential. So I'm fighting against these motherfuckers, saying that's not what you have to do. And there's a whole other level of fulfillment as a man that builds the discipline to be able to get the fat off or increase their testosterone naturally that these other guys are missing out on by getting it through a needle. And the minute, guess what, motherfucker? The minute you stop the needle, it all comes back on. You want to lose 30 kilos by doing Ozempic, guess what happens when the Ozempic stops? What do you think happens to the 30 kilos? It comes fucking rushing back on like a wave down at the ocean. Same with TRT. You start injecting your testosterone, you stop, it goes to zero, you become depressed, you can't get a boner anymore. It's short-term fixes that's ruining this entire fucking industry. Yeah. Not to make this a rant, you answered the question well. Any final words, mate? We're done for today. Any final words for the viewers at home that are skeptical, thinking you're fake, thinking you're a paid actor? I hear it all.
Shouldn't be skeptical. I was, but shouldn't be. This is life-changing. This is absolutely the most unbelievable thing I could have ever done, to be honest. Yes, paid for it, but fuck, I probably got 10 times the value of what I paid, to be honest.
And now you've got the knowledge for life, mate. That's
100%, yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks,
16 kilos. Well done.
Thank you.